Welcome to the Geek Wrestling Podcast. I'm Jose Sands. I'm with a man who's sometimes known as Bubbles.
Because I always rise to the top.
Oh, God.
I'm Hollywood, Marcus.
And
Hi.
and what is it? A cockerack?
I'm not.
Kakara.
I'm not
Kakara?
Goku. I'm not Goku.
No, the other one's a cockerack.
Oh, me.
Yeah, you, because he's Bubbles.
Oh, he's okay. Big Ralph.
Big Ralph. We're here to talk about this week in wrestling, what could have been, what should have been, and what was. So this past Sunday, we had Fastlane. Fastlane was the SmackDown only pay-per-view. It was, I think, overall, the pay-per-view was pretty decent. What do you guys think?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I liked it. SmackDown had been kind of like lately, but Fastlane was subpar.
Oh wow.
Subpar.
Above average. Sorry.
Above average, subpar. Sounds like you really don't know your
That's
vocabulary in some sense.
Well, if you average that out, that's middle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it was okay.
It was okay.
So, in other words, it's the typical Ralph response.
Exactly. Thumbs up. I agree.
So, as always, we have our countdown or their point system. I'll get to the end result, but the first match we're going to go over, Becky Lynch and Naomi versus Natalya and Carmella. That one was won by Marcus, who decided that the heels should go over, where Ralph and I thought the faces should go over. These, probably the less interesting match on the card. Kind of thrown together, I think, but still not a bad match.
No, not a bad match, but the storyline just wasn't in there for me. So
Yeah.
I picked Becky just because Becky's my girl.
The story wasn't really there. They just threw people on the show just to throw them in the show. But I kind of figured that the heels were going to win, and I was right. I win.
You won. You think this is just a way for them to push Carmella, who is the Money in the Bank holder, until we get to her cashing out?
I was about to say that, especially if you look at the following Tuesday on SmackDown.
Which
Right.
I did.
I think that they are pushing her to be at least somewhat like a wrestler, like a decent wrestler.
Or at least her being cunning enough to win some matches.
To win any way possible.
Yeah, but I mean, she's gone on record saying that she doesn't mind losing at WrestleMania just because, yeah, she's losing, but she's losing at WrestleMania. So I mean,
Well, then
what
you
kind
see,
of message is that sending?
then you see her Twitter feed where somebody mentioned that to her, and they said, "Yeah, because it's on the internet, it's true." So she's hiding it, she's playing it. Who knows?
She's trolling.
Yeah.
Did your
Yeah.
wife home?
She might be trolling.
Did your wife just get home?
No,
No, not yet.
Whose dog is that?
that's my dog. I can't. I'm upstairs. If I kicked it, then there would be another
Wait.
foot that I have too long.
I'm sorry, PETA, if you're listening. Don't.
Come at him.
Who's Peter? Is
PETA.
PETA.
Is he still on the island with Katniss? No.
What's the next match?
Next match I have on the list is Shinsuke Nakamura versus Rusev with Aiden English. All of us picked Shinsuke. Of course, we need Shinsuke to look strong heading into WrestleMania. Guess this was a no-brainer on this one. Then you had Charlotte Flair, who is the current SmackDown Women's Champion, versus Ruby Riott with Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan. All of us picked Charlotte, but the interesting thing that happened after this match was that Asuka came down and challenged the Queen for her title at WrestleMania. What do you guys think about that?
Yo.
Nice.
Wait, hold on. Before you do that, I have a question about Rusev.
Okay.
Do you think Rusev is damaged by his loss to Nakamura? Because, I mean, everybody in the crowd sees him as a babyface and not a heel. So it's basically a babyface match. So I guess my question has two parts. Does Nakamura lose something because people are cheering Rusev more? And is Rusev damaged because he lost?
No and no.
I'm going with Ralph on this one. No
Okay.
and no.
Because Rusev, he's Rusev. It's Rusev Day every day. It's like here or phase. People will still love him. Nakamura, people knew he was going to win because they're like, even the most casual of fan, they'll be like, well, he is the Royal Rumble winner. You know, you have to make him look strong. Even they are smart enough to realize that something like this was bound to happen. So I don't think Nakamura loses anything by winning against Rusev.
So
Even though like I heard it, I might need to watch it again, but I heard it more like 50-50 in the chants. And when Nakamura won, they chanted for him. So
you don't think that there's a chance for the crowd to turn on Nakamura at all?
No.
No, because I think they're really wanting to see that Nakamura versus AJ style match. Now, at WrestleMania, maybe, because who he's going up against. But right now, I don't think so.
So you see AJ being the definite face in the crowd, turning somewhat on Nakamura.
I think so.
Oh wow!
Oh wow! Well, we'll get into
only because we've seen Nakamura be a face for so long that it'd be nice to try to see him as a heel. I would like to see that, but again, I'm not booking, so what do I know?
Hey, you're winning, so I mean, you might as well be a booker.
Yeah. So that goes back to the question, and I agree with Ralph on this. I don't think it hurts Rusev. I don't think it hurts Nakamura. I think that they're going to be fine. I think that Rusev is over enough that he can get away with the loss, and I think people are not upset that he lost to Nakamura. I think everybody's expecting Nakamura to be dominant at this point if he's going to go against the WWE champion.
Yeah, now if you tell me he loses against the Lone Wolf, I'd be like, maybe that might just like take something away from Rusev. But if it's a big name like Nakamura, I mean, come on, you're one of the two had to win. Either way, it was fun.
I don't know, man, because you're calling no contest and calling it accurately, so maybe there wouldn't be a winner. I don't know, but I understand your guys' points, and I respect your points, and I agree with it.
Okay, good. So what do you think about Asuka challenging the Queen? The Empress of Tomorrow versus the Queen.
Kind of figured that was going to happen, especially with you kind of figured that was going to happen last week when you saw Raw and Alexa kind of low-key bullying Nia. So you saw the plot lines develop, like, okay, Nia versus Alexa, Charlotte versus Asuka. Like, you kind of saw it coming. You just didn't know when it was coming.
Unfortunately, as good as Alexa is, she is, and I'm going to quote Asuka on this, she's not ready for Asuka. But I think Charlotte can put up a much better fight against her. Now, I don't know if they're going to pull the trigger and have Charlotte, to beat the undefeated streak, but that is your money match for the women's title.
I mean, you had Asuka say it herself. To beat a woman, you have to beat the woman, so she doesn't think Alexa's the woman.
That's what happens when Charlotte becomes the nature girl. No, that sounds wrong. I'll come back to that one. Let's hear from Mr. Sands first.
No, I agree with both of you. I mean, we had it was a better choice, I think, than going with Bliss, and then you had Bliss, congratulate her on making the best thing, and then pretty much Asuka saying I challenge because she's the best, and that kind of deflated Bliss a little bit. And then Bliss was like, well, whatever, I'm going to kick your butt, or I'm going to have this girl kick your butt. Of course, Nia doesn't come out. And then you have them have a match next week, Bliss and Asuka, which is pretty much going to showcase Nia, we're thinking, where Nia will come out and either destroy Bliss or destroy both of them. And then Asuka shows up on SmackDown this week and talks to the Queen to get that match all hyped. And even the Queen said she was hoping she'd pick her because she likes a challenge. So it was a mutual respect and a mutual want. And I think if we get heel Charlotte out of this, it'll be awesome.
How do you see the match Who do you think wins it, though? Do you think...
I typically see it on a TV. I don't know about any of you guys.
Well, I depending on if my wife has a TV.
Oi, answer the question. No sarcasm.
I actually am excited because I don't know what I think that's going to happen in this match. I feel like they're going to give them both equal dominance. I think we're going to see not one-sided, of course, but how they're going to finish it, I'm actually interested in. You know, does Charlotte put her in the figure eight for a little bit, and then she just toughs it out? You know, does Asuka put her in the Asuka lock and she toughs it out? You know, do they show dominance on both ends? Is it something simple like a roll-up that wins the match, like what happened with Nia? I don't know.
The thing about it is that, okay, you have the undisputed best woman in the roster
in the company.
Yeah, which is Charlotte. And you have the undefeated Asuka. Now, who do you protect in this match, or do you have Carmella cash in? And
I have a theory on Carmella.
Well, see, on that note, I don't think Charlotte losing hurts her
at all
as much as Asuka losing. I think because of the way they've built Asuka, and I get it, it's WrestleMania. If she's gonna lose at any point, it would be at WrestleMania.
To the Queen.
Exactly, to the Queen. I don't know. I think it might hurt her a little more than it would hurt Flair.
And because we have 4 potential main events this WrestleMania. Any 4 matches that can close the show. Do you see this closing the show?
No.
Okay. Honestly, the way they like their golden boys, it might honestly be, and I would hate it if they do it. It would be Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar closing the show, but
you just think about
I would prefer AJ Nakamura to close the show.
What about Cena Deadman?
House no.
Okay. That answers that.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. All right. So we all picked Charlotte. That was a good thing. As for Carmella and her cashing in, I really don't think Carmella cashes in on the SmackDown Women's Champion. I think Carmella cashes in on Raw.
But can she though?
Never said.
Because if it's the same as Baron Corbin cashed it in on the SmackDown Champion, or tried to.
I don't know. I mean, is there ironclad? I don't remember if they said it was SmackDown only. Look,
I don't think they said it, but the fact that it was a SmackDown only pay-per-view at that moment kind of implied it. But you're right, they never did stipulate that it would be only for a SmackDown Championship.
I mean, it's an interesting thing because you just don't think Carmella cashing in on either Asuka or Charlotte's going to be something that's going to go her way. But if you have a dominant Nia beat Bliss, or you have Bliss beat Nia, and Nia just destroys Bliss, then you have the opportunity for Carmella to cash in.
Now, what if it's a throwaway cash in?
I hope it's not a throwaway cash in.
She tries to cash it in on Asuka if Asuka wins, or Charlotte if Charlotte wins, but because they are who they are, they can still go at it against a Carmella.
Or maybe we have the cash in on the next night.
Oh, after quote unquote
WrestleMania
shake-up that's coming.
The shake-up, she gets transferred over, right?
Right.
Nia, again, my whole thing is Nia doesn't win, but she destroys Bliss. Or Nia wins. Either way, somebody's going to knock the other person out. Let's say
Mickie James gets involved and it's
something,
disqualification.
You know what I mean? Nia wins,
but she doesn't get the title.
Bliss wins, Nia destroys her, Carmella cashes in. Then that means Carmella came over from Raw. That there's your way of having the title be for her cashing in the title, and then maybe that's a time where you have Bliss or Nia go over to SmackDown.
See, here's the thing. And I think they kind of backed themselves into a corner with this, or booked themselves into a corner. Like, you don't want to disrupt Asuka and Charlotte because of just the nature of that match. What it's going to be about the people in the match, the stakes, everything. Like, you don't want to interrupt it. You want to leave that match as it is, right? Now, Nia has to beat Alexa just because of the storyline. Like, she's body shaming, she's a bully, she's basically calling her like fat and just nasty, right? Now, will WWE really let that stand? Do you think the babyface is going to get their comeuppance? Like, that would be really bad as far as publicity and the tone they want to set. So I think Nia wins, Carmella tries, and Nia squashes her because you have to have Nia walking away as champion.
Right, but I would hate for the first women's Money in the Bank winner to not have a successful cash in. That just demoralizes that first one.
It does, but this is Mick Mahan, and his
Yeah.
booking has been very questionable for years now.
I mean, we're all speculating. We don't know what's going to really happen, but the fact that Charlotte is facing Asuka is something that we're all excited to see at WrestleMania.
Yes.
So another possible WrestleMania match is going to be what happened between the New Day and the Usos with the tag team champion. Now, what happened in that match is that the New Day and the Usos were putting on a classic again where they were taking each other's moves. So that was kind of fun to watch. It was something different. It was something new. And, of course, in the middle of that match, the Bludgeon Brothers come in and just take out everybody.
How the hell did Ralph do this?
I don't know. Ralph called in our last show the no contest. And, by golly, freaking guy called it, man.
It's because I have peoples.
I'm telling you.
I had my peoples called Mick Mahan and tell them, hey, Ralph said this, make it so.
I'm telling you, if you were on the WWE payroll and we don't know, you need to send some of that money our way.
Oh, if I was,
or at least get us some sponsors or something.
I wouldn't be where I was.
Called that Bludgeon Brothers the next night on SmackDown, or the next time SmackDown aired on Tuesday. Whoever was left of the New Day and the Usos fought the Bludgeon Brothers to a no, they didn't win. So you had one Jimmy or Jay, I could never tell, and Big E, and they lost. Now in the mix of this, they teased that one of the other Uso and Kofi and Xavier were injured, but it seems that they had announced that Xavier Woods was actually injured, and it seems that Xavier Woods is a legit injury. So I hope he has a speedy recovery. Hopefully he can be in WrestleMania because, I mean, that must be all fun. It's bringing these three teams into a triple threat tag team match. Is this something we're interested in seeing? Did they pique our interest?
I would rather it be the Usos against the Bludgeon Brothers, except adding the New Day. I don't want to see the New Day, and I just want to see Usos and Bludgeons.
But if you don't have the New Jay in there, is it just the Bludgeon Brothers destroying like they did at Fastlane and then next time on SmackDown?
I do see it that way. It would be the Bludgeon Brothers just dominating.
I think the Usos are veterans, crafty enough, and at the higher caliber that they can hold their own against the Bludgeon Brothers. And I don't want to see silliness. I don't want to see pancakes and dancing. I want to see like a actual fight.
Well, you only see that in the entrance. Once they're fighting, and like they can put up good shows and good matches. I would actually like to see the three teams go at it.
If it's serious Big E, then yeah.
It would have to be a serious Big E after what happened to, like, if they keep the storyline that way after what the Bludgeon Brothers did to Xavier Woods, you would have to have a serious Big E and a serious Kofi.
Yeah, I mean, we saw this Tuesday where we had serious Big E, which was kind of cool to see, and it was nice. I'm interested, actually. I'm interested. I think with the Usos not being on the main card of WrestleMania and having the chance to showcase themselves, they'll do more and try to make it better. And I think even for Harper and Rowan, even the New Day, who I don't think really had a big role. I don't know if they had a WrestleMania where they actually defended the tag team championships.
Championships.
Championships, yes. I said it that way. I'm British, you did not know. Um, I don't know. I think this match can potentially be a great match at WrestleMania, and I'm actually looking forward to it. Also, I actually like Luke Harper. I think he's a great worker, and I'm happy to
Very
see him.
underrated.
Yeah, very
Yes.
underrated. I'm happy to see him doing something and not regulated to the sidelines.
Yeah, Lucas, my boy.
Luke is your boy. So another championship match that happened at Fastlane was the U.S. Championship match between Bobby Roode, who was the champion at the time, and Randy Orton, where Randy Orton came away with the win. That I was the only one who picked that one, so I am the winner. As Marcus said earlier, he was the winner. I'm the winner. As you could, and then of course Jinder Mahal comes out at the end, causes some problems, tries to beat up Randy. Rude kind of glorious DDTs both of them and walks away. Next Tuesday on SmackDown, you have Rude and Jinder fight. Jinder comes out on the winning end of that, and then, of course, Orton does a RKO on Rude. So what we have here is another triple threat match.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. Another triple threat match out of nowhere between Bobby Roode, Randy Orton, and Jinder Mahal for the U.S. Championship. Guys, I thought the match itself was one of the better matches that Rude has had in the WWE. I don't know what you guys thought.
Do you think he got carried by Orton?
I don't know. I just know that anytime anybody goes to the second or top rope in an Randy Orton match, it's just
Don't
not
do
good.
that.
Just don't do that. I'd be like,
Yeah.
no.
It's
Don't-
it's like if AJ was to go for his phenomenal elbows, like no, don't do
Don't.
forearm. Sorry,
Yeah.
it's like no, don't do that against Orton. No.
No. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. I think Bobby Roode can hold his own on these. He looks really good, I guess, or at least he looked good in this one. And if you say that, then you're saying all the matches he had in NXT and TNA and or Global Force or wherever he was carried the whole time. So I don't think you can really say that.
No, I think he could hold his own. I think what you're saying is like Randy is that much better.
No, but this is WWE style, though. So, I mean, yeah, you can have an indie style match, which is what TNA was, but can he do the WWE style? So, I think as far as WWE goes, I think Randy carried him to a WWE style match.
All right.
Because think about it, NXT, he was usually the guy on top. He was the champ. So, I mean, it's his job to kind of carry the match, and especially as a heel, you kind of dictate the flow of the match. But now he's on the main roster, and with somebody the caliber of Orton, I think this is probably his best match as far as like a WWE style goes.
Yeah, but he still has to put it on the work. So I mean, you're making it sound like he can't do anything.
He can, but I mean, I think Orton makes him better.
Well, I think Orton with anybody makes anybody better.
Unless it's Super Cena, because we've seen that like I don't know how many times.
We don't want to talk about Orton Cena. No more, no mas.
Okay.
So
Sure.
we're heading to a triple threat match for WrestleMania. The last match was a championship match between AJ Styles, who was the WWE champion, versus John Cena, versus Kevin Owens, versus Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, and of course we all picked Styles to win. We all got it. Everybody, I think, is excited that Styles won. Couple takeaways from the match, not so much that we're going to actually see Nakamura and Styles, but we had, what's his name? Shane McMahon pull the referee out before Kevin Owens can win, and then we had him pull out Sami Zayn before Sami can win, which caused that storyline to go where he screwed both of them, and now next time on SmackDown this Tuesday, he decides to make this big announcement. The big announcement is Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn at WrestleMania, and then he gets the ever-living snot beat out of him.
I was so happy to see this.
So, is this setting up now some type of tag team? Is Shane coming back before WrestleMania, get his comeuppance? Where's Daniel Bryan fit in all this? I mean, there's a lot of questions. Actually, it's an intriguing storyline on where they could go or the possibilities. Or do you think we just get another Sami Owens match at, well, the grandest stage of them all?
See, had they not beat him up, I would agree. I would be like, okay, we're gonna get another Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, but they did beat him up. I think we are gonna look at a tag team now. It would be, of course, Shane McMahon, but who do you think would be his tag team partner?
Unless they've been trolling us for the last year, probably Vince.
I don't know. I don't think
Honestly, I would not want to see that in a million years.
Okay, look, Vince McMahon was not very athletically coordinated to begin with when he was in his heyday. Now the man is 70-something years old, and the segment I saw him with Roman, he looked really like an old man. So I don't know if anybody wants to see that.
Go back to Raw 25th year when Stone Cold does the stunner on him. Like, he still looks stiff. He still does not know how to take a stunner. So no, don't put him. I do not want to watch him.
No, I don't
He's
either.
Stiff, and then I feel like he's gonna take a move and it's gonna my hip.
That's it. He'll blow out a hip or some quads again. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I hope it's not that. I'm thinking that they're going to put Bryan in with him as a tag team against Owens.
I'm hoping they clear him, and if you're going to put Bryan and you're still worried about him, a tag team wouldn't be as bad because you can kind of manage the time that he's going to be in the ring, as opposed to if he goes one-on-one against someone, he's all the time in the ring. There's more chances that something wrong. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah,
until next Tuesday and following.
Intriguing story. Yeah. Very intriguing story. What do you think, Mr. Hollywood?
That's if I watch it. I don't know. They have the okay, so I've been watching Black Lightning and Flash because it's been a lot more entertaining to me than SmackDown has the last couple of weeks. But if they can make me care enough, which they have started to do with Shane getting beat down, you know what? I might actually, tune in and watch, and I might enjoy it because now I'm just like, all right, Shane did something as an authority figure he shouldn't do. He grabbed two people in the match, pulled them out, stopped them from becoming champion, and what? Just because you're a commissioner, you can do that and not get your comeuppance? You can't get you just no, man. I'm glad he got worked, and I wanted to see more. So, what was the question again?
Are we looking at a possible tag team with Shane and someone else against Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, or are we still looking at Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn at WrestleMania?
I don't think you get Sami versus Kevin. I think you get a tag match with somebody.
I'm glad you don't pay attention to the SmackDown brand, nor do you pay attention to what we talked about here on the podcast. So
I pay attention. I just got lost in my own ramblings.
What's today? I don't think Black Lightning's on today, or Flash. So
nah,
you're gonna have to listen, huh?
I do, and I did. Relax, it'll be okay.
Wow, what is going on over there?
My wife is home, and the dogs are going crazy.
Do the dogs love your wife?
Yes, more than me.
Oh wow!
Damn. I believe that's the consensus all around.
Wait, that sounded bad. Do they love my wife more than I love my wife, or they love my wife more than they love me?
Do they love your wife more than they love you?
Yes, that's the one.
Okay.
Wow.
Kind of wrong if they love my wife more than I love my wife.
That sounds like a lot of loving in the back there. So that was the Fastlane pay-per-view. If you have any comments or questions, please visit us on our Facebook page. Leave a comment and let us know what you think of Fastlane. Did you enjoy it? Did you think it was just meh? Do you think the storylines that they're setting up for WrestleMania are interesting? Let us know. So let's tally this up. Currently, or the person who's still in the lead with 17 is Ralph. And the two people who seem to tie every time we do one of these things, or neck and neck, is Marcus and I at 13. The next things we have coming up are the NXT Takeover and then WrestleMania. Hopefully, Ralph doesn't fall pull too far ahead where we can't catch up, or pick some weird random thing that's going to make both of us go, what? Because neither of us thought at the time that we could pick no contest as actual pick.
Well, you guys allowed me to do it, so.
Well, I mean, it's a legitimate, decision, so we can't say no, and there was no rule that said you had to pick this person or that person. It was... I just didn't think that would be,
You
or that
didn't
would happen.
think that at a pay-per-view they would do a no contest.
Well,
That's
don't
what I
know.
thought.
I don't know. I just didn't. I thought they would do it after the match, and then that would, beat them up after, and that would set that up. But no, they decided to do it in the middle of the match. And of course, when I saw that, the first thing I did was text you guys in the chat and said, "Damn, frickin' Ralph was right."
Got him.
So, 17, 13, 13. So hopefully we could catch up. Let's do some points that happened on Raw this week. A couple things. We got Roman Reigns cutting out a new promo against Brock Lesnar, letting us know that he, can't believe that he's not there again. He goes to the back. They do this whole work with McMahon. McMahon says, "Let's go to my office." They cut to commercial. Next thing you know, Roman comes out, doesn't say the word. McMahon comes out and says, "Well, we've suspended him, but Brock Lesnar will be here next week." Are they trying... Do you think this tactic that they're working to get Roman over is actually working? It seems like his promos are doing better, but is he really getting over?
No.
I don't know if he's getting over. I am liking his promos more now, but I don't know. It's still like you're shoving him down our throats too much that it's like, eh.
At this point, we're in WrestleMania season. They're gonna have to shove him down your throats.
I guess that maybe that's why they suspended him. So it's like, all right, people, we're gonna let you cool off. Don't worry about him. Don't even think about him. He's not gonna be on your TV screens. He's not gonna be at your live events. Or you're not gonna shove him that much down your throat.
It backfired, I think, and this is why. Because if you have the people in the audience who know what they're talking about, right? And you have Roman say, "Oh, your boy." Everybody knows Roman is Vince's boy. Like, you just kind of played yourself by saying that. Like, you just can't say, "Oh, Brock's your boy." No, you're his boy. You can't get mad because now he picked somebody over you. So I'm like a spoiled little kid. I think the only reason why they did that temporarily is because he has allegations against him as far as steroid distribution, so I think that's why they did it. But I don't think it's going to be the main event, and I think that it's going to end up like Goldberg, Lesnar, where they both get booed out of the building. So time will tell, but I don't think any of them are favorable right now, guys, to the audience.
I have a scenario for you guys.
Yes.
Okay, Roman is suspended, quote unquote, correct?
Indeed.
What if that's just a troll? What if next Monday, I was going to say tomorrow, but tomorrow's not Monday, thankfully. What if on Monday, Lesnar comes out, starts to do a promo, and Roman just comes out and just destroys him, destroys Lesnar out of nowhere? Kind of that heelish move that he's been lacking. Kind of like when he was against the Authority and he just destroyed Triple H and destroyed Vince McMahon when people started to get behind him. What if that's what they're doing to get us to root for Roman?
What do you think, Mr. Sands?
I think he's probably onto something. I kind of had that feeling too, that they just suspended him just to have the suspension, and then him come in through the building and attack Lesnar.
Now, if I call it again, I have no WWE money. They should be giving me money if they're stealing my ideas. But
would you want them to be physical before WrestleMania?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
I think that if you really want people to root for Roman Reigns, you need to have him get physical before WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar, maybe even against Paul Heyman.
No, I don't think Paul Heyman, but Brock Lesnar definitely.
Like Brock Lesnar, he comes into the ring, starts beating Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar leaves because he's like, whoa, he was taken out of, his defenses were down. He leaves the ring, but Paul Heyman stays, and he's like, oh, look what I'm gonna do to your advocate because you left the ring. If you want to save him, come into the ring.
Yeah, I think you could do that too. I mean, you have 4 weeks, 3 weeks. 2 weeks? How many weeks do we have? I think
It
it's only
was-
2 weeks, right?
We have 3 weeks.
So you have 3 weeks. You could build. Well, I mean, if you don't count this week, you have 1, 2. Yeah, okay, it's still 3.
Oh, this one's gone, so.
But I
yeah,
mean, you have time to build it. I think if you suspend him, have him come through the crowd, jump Lesnar, get them to hold him back, it causes the heat for Lesnar, so you would expect him to come the next time for him to get back at Roman. But you have Roman suspended indefinitely, so he can cut a promo the next time, or maybe when he's not suspended and Lesnar's not supposed to be there, you have Lesnar attack him. You have a bunch of ways you can play this.
Like, Reigns is going to be there for the go-away show.
Nah, not really, because
You don't have to.
usually on go-away shows, they don't let them cut promos. If you've noticed.
I think on the go away show you're going to have a Ronda Rousey segment because that's the segment that's the mainstream segment. That's going to get your mainstream audience going. What she's doing. I don't think the Lesnar Roman will do that. I think if you're going to do the go away, you're going to do it with Rousey or Rousey and the Deadman if the Deadman is going to come, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So.
Now, we move on to my favorite, let's say, Royal Rumble match that they had.
Battle Royal.
Royal Rumble.
So
they all have the same rules.
So let's talk about the Bar, guys. The Bar currently doesn't have an opponent and don't even know if they're going to be in WrestleMania. So they decided to call out all the tag teams. Tag teams responded by beating the crap out of them. And Kurt Angle said, you know what, we're going to do a Battle Royal. Whoever wins the Battle Royal will be your new opponents and face you in WrestleMania. All the tag teams are inside the squared circle. All of a sudden, you hear this guttural roar. And out comes Braun Strowman without a partner and decides to enter himself into the tag team Battle Royal. And subsequently, thank you, win the Battle Royal. Now, there are so many different arguments that the Bar can use to try to disqualify Braun Strowman. One, that he cannot be a tag team if he is only one.
Technically, and I'm sorry to cut you off, because the commentators did make that comment, and I was like, Stone Cold technically started the match by himself without a partner for the tag team titles until Dude Love came. He's like, I'll be your partner. So technically, they've done it in the past.
Well, it was also a different scenario, a different story. This one,
I'm just saying it's not out of.
He blatantly walked out there without a partner. Now, are we seeing this as Braun Strowman getting a surprise partner? Will it be Elias, since they have some little feud going on there, or do you think they let him run with it and be himself as a tag team fighting off the Bar?
Honestly, the way that Elias is over, they might just do that. I honestly, I would love to see just Braun Strowman just be the tag team title. He is the tag team champion. He is the tag team champion. Sorry,
Yeah,
I had to go all team hell no.
Yeah, because Daniel and Kane individually were the tag team champions. So, I mean, I guess it works, right?
Yeah. What do you think, Hollywood?
What do I think?
Yeah. Which would you like more? Him with Elias or him by himself?
I'm tired of them putting random people together making a tag team, so I'd rather him by himself. Give Elias something that he can sink his teeth into by himself.
The only reason I would like Braun Strowman to be by himself is because if you pair him up with Elias, it's kind of the same formula you did with the Bar.
Yeah, I think you damage Elias. I think you damage Elias by doing that. Because Elias, as a singles, is
I think he does better as a singles. Now, if they both come out, now I'll be honest, and I will find it hilarious and I will love it. If Elias comes out with his guitar and Strowman comes out with a bass cello and they start doing a little impromptu duet, I would love that. I would think that's hilarious.
I would laugh at that.
Yeah.
You're so convincing, Hollywood, on how much you would think that would be amazing.
And how much you're listening to us.
No, I'm listening. I just kind of don't care because their booking is all everywhere. It doesn't make any sense. I'm just like, whatever, man.
So, booking that could be all everywhere is a promo that was cut by John Cena this past week on Raw, which pitted him saying, hey, you know what? I don't have a clear path to WrestleMania, and I'm not supposed to do this, but you know what? I'm calling out the deadman, and everybody pops. Then he cuts a really scathing promo to the deadman, savage, cutting a promo that was like, damn, you're just laying it all out there because he wants him to come over and challenge him.
See, it's a promo that I never thought anyone would do against a deadman. Then again, back in the days, the social media wasn't as big as it is now.
Right.
But it's like calling him out. It's like, well, I saw you doing, exercising videos.
Yeah.
On your wife's Instagram.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I can't believe he went there.
Is John Cena just a great promo guy? Because he had me fired up by that promo.
I saw the promo and I was like, all right, John, keep talking that mess.
But it made you say, all right, John, keep talking that mess. I mean,
it gave you some sort of feeling inside.
Yeah, it gave you a feeling
whether you liked them, whether you hate them, you were fired up because the whole crowd went nuts when he called them out.
Yeah,
and then he went to the crowd. He's like, "What is that? Give me a sip." I was like,
I mean, he was there. He called him out. It made you feel, oh my God, you're in trouble. You called out the dead man. He's gonna kick your butt. That's pretty much what he did, and he made everybody think the same thing. They're like, you ever see that cat on Puss in Boots?
No.
Well, I'm out here on the ledge by myself, am I?
Pretty much.
Apparently.
Puss in Boots.
All right, fine.
I've never seen.
Well, I guess that's what happens when you have kids. So, I don't know. He's gonna cue some music. He's gonna cue something. He's gonna do something right now.
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing anything. I'm trying to get everybody ready.
Trying to get us ready?
No, these kids just came up getting ready for bed. So.
Oh.
So I'm in the middle of talking to them. Another thing that they're also promoting on Raw is the final deletion. Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt are going to do a bit like TNA. They did back in TNA for the final deletion. What do you guys? You interested in that, or did that pass already?
Jeremy Borash is helping produce it, so I'm more interested now than I was before.
Now, you say that, but I did hear of a tweet that was sent out by Mrs. Rebecca, Queen Rebecca, that she's the one doing everything. He has nothing to do with it.
Oh.
So.
She's throwing shade?
She's throwing shade.
Well,
he's not the only one that she's throwing shade at.
You don't know about the editing
Poor brother
part,
Nero is also under fire.
Yeah, because he was drinking that drink.
Oh, she was throwing shade at brother Nero, I said.
Brother Nero or Jeremy Borash?
Both. I said
wow.
Jeremy Borash, and then I said he's not the only one she's throwing shade at. Poor brother Nero is also under fire.
Oh, wow. Is that something you really want to bring into the company? Somebody throwing shade?
I don't know.
Controversy, so.
No,
controversies
but
make money.
Eric Bischoff said controversy makes money.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see what happens. Is it going to be great? Is it going to be a fiasco? Who knows?
I think it'll be okay.
I think it'll be okay. I'm wanting it to be okay. I'm wanting it to bring that character back around to where everybody gets excited about it. I think Matt Hardy can pull it off, and he's got the production value now to do it.
The only thing I'm worried about is if it's going to be another Wyatt family versus New Day at the comp.
Oh, no. Definitely not going to be that.
Yeah,
I don't think Hardy will let it.
I honestly, I haven't seen the other deletion that he did.
How dare you?
I haven't gotten around to it. I'm sorry.
I don't want to hear that. I mean, it's the final deletion, man. Everybody's seen the final deletion.
But now there's going to be another final deletion. So what's that really the final deletion?
It's the second to last final deletion.
I don't know.
Now I'll probably see it this weekend if I have time. Since I haven't seen it, all I can go is based off what the Wyatts and the New Day did.
So another announcement they had heading into WrestleMania was that in their celebrity wing, they're inducting Kid Rock into their celebrity wing at the Hall of Fame. Kid Rock, who's done numerous songs for WWE. They're also doing the title song for their WrestleMania this year. Who did one of the Undertaker's American Badass gimmicks and did the title song for that. Now, with that being said, there's rumors saying that Undertaker, if he does wrestle this year, will come back as the American Badass character, because as he put all the clothes and what in the middle of the ring last year was to say he is no longer doing that character, or that's the speculation of it. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, from what I remember, the American Badass gimmick wasn't perceived all that favorably from fans, so I don't know why they would want to go back to that.
I mean,
there is, a good, a good theory saying that, he buried the Deadman only to come back as American Badass. I don't know how feasible it is.
The only reason I would see them bringing the American Badass is not to tarnish that Undertaker gimmick anymore. He lost against Roman Reigns, that tarnished him. And then losing against Cena again, it's like, you're going to bring him back just to lose? Now, if the American Badass persona loses, you're like, all right, we never really liked him that much as the American Badass, so whatever.
I mean, it's also, in the end, it's Undertaker's decision on what he wants to do. If he decided he wanted to put that character to bed and bring out the other character, it's all him, you know what I mean? I think Marcus said at one point when we were talking about this earlier was that if he decides to do that, he can not dye his hair, cut it short, and just bring that character out like that, and it would be perfectly fine.
Yeah, like if he's balding, all he has to do is put the bandana on it.
Yeah.
Dude, like I can't grow my hair long anymore, so guess what? This is what I'm going to do now.
Yeah, because right now he has long hair, but it's all gray. So I'm like, maybe he can come back as more Mark Calloway rather than Deadman Undertaker. So, I mean, it's ultimately his choice, like you said, but I think...
If he has gray hairs, there's Rogaine for men, so come on.
No, that's if you lose your hair.
Yeah, Rogaine's when you lose your hair, not when you want to color your hair.
There's one, isn't it? No, then what's it called? The one for color your hair?
Just for men?
Yeah.
Yes, there we go, just for men.
On the announcement of Kid...
Rogaine is what Triple H needs.
No, I think it's more Shawn Michaels at this point.
I've lost all hope.
So, on that announcement, we also had an announcement that they're going to do a women's Battle Royal match, but they were calling it the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal match, which is kind of coincide with the men's Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal match. When news of this came out that they were doing it for Fabulous Moolah, apparently the internet went crazy and signed a petition to say no because of the checkered past of Fabulous Moolah. As of right now, from what we understand in a statement made by WWE, that they're no longer calling it the Fabulous Moolah because of everybody's petition, and then the internet was heard.
Boy, wow, stop moving.
The internet was heard, and now it's just the Women's WrestleMania Battle Royal. WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal.
Of what now?
Of the WrestleMania Women's WrestleMania
No, I know, but Mark Hollywood said Ralph something. I couldn't catch that.
Stop moving.
I wasn't moving.
Okay, so what do we think? Was it a good move on WWE not to do it Fabulous Moolah, or do you think it was peer pressure? I mean, we heard the alleged stuff that happened, or not alleged. I mean, some people have first-hand accounts of what Fabulous Moolah did at the time. What do you guys take on this?
From my research, did a lot of bad things like pimping and holding people back, and a lot of stuff that I don't think progressed the women's industry as far as wrestling goes. And people know about that. It's not alleged or maybe she did it. So I think in that case, with a history that bad, you should want to do all that you can to take her out of that spotlight, I think.
Yeah, I think if you want to bring light into this new match, you can't have it named after someone with a shady past, especially someone that no one wants for it to be named after her. Like the fans speak out and they're like, "Yeah, no, you do it," and maybe people don't even watch it, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll wait until like WrestleMania because it's gonna be the kickoff." Like, I'll just wait for the WrestleMania to start.
I guess it's going to be kickoff. I don't think they really said where it's going to be placed in the card. But anyways,
pretty sure it's going to be the kickoff.
You know what? I think
I'm going to call it. It's going to be the kickoff.
I think that whatever she did, if this is how the majority of people feel, I mean, I really don't know. I don't know the research that if a person did these unspeakable things and they want to change and it looks bad for women, especially if they're moving in the right direction, and I think the decision was great on WWE's part. So with that, it's time for Jose Sands' 205 Live update.
Hey, can I be a part of it this time? I watched it.
You can. So we have the brackets happening. We had Cedric Alexander versus Roderick Strong. Cedric beats Roderick Strong, so he advances and will be in the main event. Well, he will be for the Cruiserweight title at WrestleMania against... who knows? It's either Mustafa Ali or Drew Gulak. What did you think of the match now that you see 205 Live, sir?
I really liked the match. I think the work rate was good, but not only the work rate, the story being told from both men, like the vignettes that they had before the match, telling each person's individual story, how they kind of did a general update on how the tournament itself took place, like who lost, who won, everything else. I thought it was very well done. And I think your money match is going to be Mustafa Ali versus Cedric Alexander. Two faces, but at the same time. In this situation, I don't think you need a bad guy. You just need to have a good match to make people pay attention to the cruiserweights. So I'm really excited to see it. And
yeah.
I think Cedric was the right choice to go ahead.
I do too.
Especially with Roderick Strong doing still work in NXT. I think he is going to be in the tag match NXT weekend. I mean, WrestleMania weekend with I think he's teaming with Pete Dunne for the tag titles, if I remember correctly. So I mean, yeah, I'm happy that Cedric went over.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali because they just put on a great match. So that was the week in wrestling. What could have been, what should have been, what was. Let us know your thoughts and opinions on it at our Facebook page at ugeekly.com and ugeekly.com. That's UGEEKLY. Also, we have other social media under the same name, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Shout out to us. Let us know what you think. On that note, every week, one of us picks an old or current match for us to review, and that match is the main event of the week. This week was Big Ralph's pick. Finally got that one right. Big Ralph, what match did you pick and why?
I went back to WrestleMania 19, Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho.
Great match.
Our
Why'd you
third
pick that
WrestleMania 19 pick.
Apparently we were on WrestleMania 19, last pick in this pick. You know what? Next week's my pick. I might as well just pick in that WrestleMania 19 pick.
I don't think there's that much to pick from anyways.
I got one more I could think of. So, what do you guys? Why did you pick Jericho Michaels?
I picked Jericho Michaels because I really like Shawn Michaels. I thought he was great. Not so much now anymore, but I always thought that he put in good matches. I remember when I picked The Rock versus Stone Cold. I actually watched the whole WrestleMania and I saw this match, and I enjoyed it. It was a different kind of match. It reminded me of when Hollywood made me watch.
How did it make you do it?
You made me watch. What's his name? The Nature Boy versus Ricky Steamboat. That it was more of a technical match than any out there kind of moves, like any power moves. And I don't know. I don't know how to put it into words. It was just a great match.
I'm gonna leave you out on the ledge.
Yeah, I'm out on a ledge. I don't know what else to say.
No, I think you're great.
My only takeaway was like that Shawn Michaels thought that
Exactly.
Jericho was such a good opponent that he didn't even win the normal ways that he would win with the super kick and then the pin.
Beat him with a roll up.
He beat him with a roll up.
It always seems that the best matches are always beat with a roll up.
Apparently.
I mean, the last 3 matches we saw were one with roll up, right?
I think so. Well, no, the Lesnar Angle match, he did the F5 and did it, so I guess not really a roll up.
Well, I don't think Lesnar can do a roll up.
It's not in his repertoire to move a person over and put him on his back.
Wow.
No, but see, this match, well, the Lesnar versus Angle match was kind of well, not grueling. It was kind of like an all-out kind of match. This one was
had more finesse.
It didn't have any like high-powered move, like no F5, nothing like that. I think it maybe had like 1 or 2 off the ropes.
I think this one told more of a story.
Yeah.
And then the ending, the sign of respect, and then the low blow.
Yeah.
Got him.
I think, in my opinion, that the story behind this match, which built for a long time until it got to this point, was a really good story. I think Jericho and Michaels have magic in the ring. Not the kind of magic that Marcus has, but magic.
I do have the magic.
You do have the magic. I think that, as you said, if we thought Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho was one of the best, or back to the heel Jericho persona, this was the quintessential heel Jericho, which was so much fun to watch. This was the Jericho that just didn't care, beat you up, was cocky, nonchalant pins,
Bit of a crybaby,
and then was the sore loser at the end. So this is like the Jericho that was, I think, the best Jericho. I mean, when he cut his hair and, became like a corporate guy and, we call it a big word heel Jericho, that was fun too. It was just a different aspect, but this one was kind of like the cocky young upstart that's trying to take out the old guy, and because you looked up to him, but then you realized you were better than him, and now you have to beat him because you have to prove that you're better than him. I mean, that story is such a great story, and to have a person like Shawn Michaels to play off of, I mean, it just makes it even better. So, love this rivalry.
I think JR said it best. It was like, it's 2 guys with identical ways of wrestling, where it's kind of like Jericho is wrestling Jericho, and Shawn Michaels is wrestling Shawn.
I mean, the fact that, Jericho hits him with the forearm and then does a nip-up, and then right behind him you see Michaels do the nip-up. I mean, classic. I mean, perfect heel, perfect babyface. They started out slow like all the great matches do, then rev it up, have some outside action, have brutality in it. Gave you ups and downs until the end where you say, oh, there's a redemption, and then boom, low blow.
Jericho stealing the sweet chin music.
Yeah.
And then the super kick out of nowhere.
And didn't even, like you said, didn't even beat him with the super kick.
Which normally he does. He goes super kick and then he wins.
Yeah.
But this time, that's how good of a wrestler Jericho was at that time and still is.
Not only that, it shows the respect that Michaels had for Jericho, where the culmination of this is that I'm not going to beat you with the finish move, because, we're going to do it this way. So it's not like,
Yeah, I know.
Do what you got to do to win.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's what Michaels did. Every time he wrestled, did what he had to do to win. Fake injuries, play dead. Like, he was very crafty and sneaky, and
lose his happiness, lose his smile.
he lost his smile, man. You had to mention it, didn't you?
I did. It's
Nobody
Michaels.
But we don't want to go back to those times.
No.
It's Michaels. Whether you want to go back or not, it's there in history. In a WWE network that goes on and on.
Oh man, I don't know. We're just talking foolishness right now.
Hollywood, I never heard your opinion on it yet.
No, I liked it. I watched. I think Did it get match of the year? Let me check. TWI match of the
Can
year.
we talk while we're looking, maybe? Keep the
Yeah,
podcast
that's what
going?
I'm looking now. What year was it? 2004?
I don't know, man.
I'll tell you
No,
right now because I have it open.
it was 2003.
Yes.
And the match of the year was Angle versus Lesnar from SmackDown. So I guess it did get match of the year. I think it got feud of the year though. 2003. No, it didn't. All right. So anyway, no,
Way to research your facts before coming on the podcast.
no,
Thanks
2008 was feud of the year. Jericho versus Shawn Michaels. So they took this feud from 2003, which was WrestleMania 19, all the way to 2008. Wow, interesting. And the match of the year for 2008 was Michaels versus Flair. So the story up to this match, like Jericho legit slapped Michaels' wife. The whole rivalry, because I've heard Jericho talk about it numerous times in his podcast. Like they took their time. They didn't rush anything. They made you get real heat from Jericho. Like it was a classic heel versus face dynamic with the baby face out for revenge. Like you slapped my wife, you did this, you did that. Now I'm gonna beat you up. I'm not gonna let you get away with this. So he had a reason to fight the heel. He won in the end, the face, but in the classic heel that Jericho is, yeah, you won, but I'm not gonna let you get away with it. Low blow. And I think all the action in the match just added to the storytelling, where Jericho emulated Michaels and he thought Michaels was the end all be all until he said, "Now I'm better than you, so let me prove it." If you watch the match, like he went tick for tat, stride for stride with Michaels, and it made you think, like, damn, he might beat Mr. WrestleMania, the showstopper, but Michaels won in the end. So I think the combination of storytelling and athleticism worked perfectly in this match, and I really enjoyed it. I'm happy I watched it again.
Yeah, it was nice to revisit that one. I hadn't seen it in a while.
I talked. Did you see what I did there?
Yeah, that's great. That's what we do on these things, and they're called podcasts because you talk on them in pods, I guess. I don't know really why it's called podcast now that I think about it. So that's the main event match of the week: Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 19. Well, thank you for listening. We're part of the Unique Geek Network, so look for us on our website, UGeekly, which is UGeekly. You also have us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram under the same name. This is the Geek Wrestling Podcast. We're found on Podbeam and Apple Podcasts, so please subscribe and leave a comment. Give us a 5-star rating, and we'll read it up on the air, or on the podcast, because it's not really live, so I don't know if it's on the air. Well, that being said, until next time, I'm Jose Sands. I'm here with Bubbles.
Hollywood Markets.
And the Kakarot.
Big Ralph.
And saying see you next time.
Bye.
Later.